This module is about color and contrast. Color choices play a large role in the development of accessible content. Let's take a look at this red apple. For persons without visual impairments, like one of the types of color blindness, one may see a red apple. But let's consider what it would look like to someone with color blindness. Those apples, seen through their eyes, are not red. Why is this important? If you were to write a question that requires the student to identify the red apple to get the answer correct, that student, by way of the disability, will not likely return a correct response. Let's consider another case. Perhaps a word or phrase is highlighted in red for emphasis. To the colorblind student, this may be seen as gray or yellow. A better way to emphasize text is to use italics for specific words or phrases, bold print or underscoring. Other options include highlighting with a lighter contrasting color, adding an asterisk, using the abbreviation NB, which means note carefully, or establishing a symbol that for your class or content means pay attention. Now, let's talk about high contrast writing because color choices matter when designing slides, posters, or digital content. For individuals with color blindness or visual impairments like astigmatism, poor contrast can make text nearly impossible to read. When referring to color, contrast places two different colors together to create a clear distinction. This distinction is key to visual interest and legibility. However, some trends intended to make a graphic or digital asset pretty or pleasing sacrifices function in preference of beauty. The aim should be maintaining both. Poor contrast can strain the eyes, especially for those with astigmatism. It's very difficult to see important text or diagrams when the words or images are not separated visually. So, how do we make adjustments? Use dark text on a light background or light-colored text on a dark background. If the background or design elements are dark, the text should be light and vice versa. That's not the only consideration. Color combinations are key. Let's take a look at some of the ones that work and those that do not work. And note carefully, even monochromatic layouts, those that use the same color in different hues, shades, and tint, can be balanced in contrast. When choosing photos, try to choose those that show the subject is well lit and standing out from the background. Let's take a look at these photos. The kitten on the left is clearly visible, well lit, and distinguishable from the background. In the photo on the right, the kitten is harder to see and less distinguishable from the background. Keep in mind, especially for digital content, people will be viewing the resources you create on various devices. Finally, if you would like to check to see whether your design is well contrasted, render or print a version in grayscale. If the image can be clearly read while in grayscale, it is high contrast. A pixel or pixel element is the smallest unit of programmable color on a computer display or image. It is a square of color. Each square has its own color, and when pulled together, they create an image. The more pixels an image has, the clearer the image. So this is what we call resolution. Low-resolution images or videos have less pixels, and high-resolution videos are the opposite. Look at this example. We often see this in video when a person's identity is being obscured or hidden. Let's look at another example. The strawberry on the left is an example of a grainy or pixelated image. Simply explained, there are not enough pixels or squares of color to make it look smooth. This image is low resolution. The strawberry on the right is an example of a high resolution or unpixelated image. Why is this important? Poor resolution is another factor that affects visibility or legibility. Pixelated images can make it difficult for persons with visual impairments to see an image clearly. Here are a few tips that you may find helpful. When choosing content, elements like pictures or videos, try not to screenshot. It's always best to ask permission to use the content or image where possible, or to download a high-resolution image. Just remember that if you're using anything you download from the internet and social media in your classes, to properly attribute the capture and follow the rules of copyright. If you'd like to learn more about copyright, go to lrsbahamas.com to access our crash course on Bahamian copyright for educators. If you are creating content from scratch, try to capture clear images to use in your content. Oftentimes, pixelation is the result of poor lighting or poor resolution of the device that you're using. We'll discuss this in the next module.